Hey guys, we're back with the notes for 5.3. Today we're going to be writing a system, that means two equations, when given a graph. So what I'm going to ask you to do is if you have any highlighters or colored pencils, I think that doing that is going to help you use these graphs for the best possible way to get your answers. I think it's going to be easier for you to tell the equations apart and the M and B's apart if you are using some sort of highlighter or colors. So if you want to take just a second, and I'm going to zoom out, go ahead and set up problems 1 to 6 the way that you see on the board. You need an M and B for each line on each problem. Go ahead and do that now. Perfect. So now that you've got it set up, let's go ahead and work through problem 1. Okay. First thing that we're going to look at is the yellow equation, so equation 1. Where does it begin? Remember, your B is on the y-axis. This first yellow equation is going to begin at 2 on the y-axis, a positive 2. To find his slope, I'm going to count to another perfect point. The easiest one to see is usually the intersection. So if I find the slope between those 2 points, that means I'm going down a negative 2, and I'm going over to the right 3. My slope is negative 2 over 3. I'm going to put those two pieces together in my first equation. Y equals negative 2 thirds x plus 2. There's my first equation. Again, we've already been graphing for about 6 weeks. We should know where the M is and where the B is. Okay, let's go ahead and try the pink equation now. So where does the pink equation begin on the y-axis? Well, he starts down here at negative 6. And if I count to the intersection again, that means I'm rising up 6, running to the right 3. So up 6, over to the right 3, that's going to simplify to 2. So on this problem, my slope is a 2, my B is a negative 6. We're going to make our equation. Y equals 2x minus 6. All right, we talked about in 5.1 how to find our solution. It's going to be the place where they intersect. So my solution on this problem would be 3, 0. I'm 3 to the right, 0 up or down. There's my first problem. We're going to go ahead and move on to the second one. Okay. All right, problem number 2, first equation. My first equation is going to begin at 1 on the y-axis. That's my yellow one. And his slope is going downhill. So I'm going down and to the right. Let's see how far. Down 1, right 5. So down 1 is negative, to the right 5. My first equation is going to look like y equals negative 1/5 x plus 1. Let's move on to the pink equation. For the pink one, we are going to begin in that exact same spot. We're going to begin at 1, but this time I'm going to be rising up and to the right. I'm going up 2 to the right 5, so positive 2 over 5. Let's take those pieces and make my equation. I'm going to write out y equals 2 over 5x plus 1. Same thing again, our solution is going to come from the intersection. So we're going to use this right here, 0, 1. That's my answer for the solution. Okay. If you need any more time, go ahead and write what you see. We're going to move to 3 and 4. All right, problem 3, first equation. We're going to use the yellow one. Where does that problem begin? Well, it begins at 1 on the y-axis. And when I count to the intersection, it's going down a negative 1 over 1. Now, we don't put negative 1 over 1 in an equation. We would just put the negative. So my equation is y equals a negative x plus 1. Negative 1 is the slope right here, but I'm not putting a 1 in that problem, and I'm definitely not putting 1 over 1. Okay, let's look at the pink one. The pink problem is going to begin at negative 5, and then he is rising up 5, right 1. So rise up 5 to the right 1. I'm not going to put 5 over 1 in my equation. I'm just going to put 5. So y equals 5x minus 5. Perfect. Once we have both of that, we're ready to put our solution. Our solution is the point where they intersect. That would be 1, 0. Okay. All right, let's go ahead on problem 4. My first equation is the yellow one. He's going downhill. That first problem hits the y-axis at negative 1. But to get my slope, I'm going to have to kind of figure this out a little differently. Because if I'm starting on the y-axis, I got to remember to count my graph to the right, okay? So I can either look to the right and find some other perfect points, or I can go back to my intersection and count to the B. Either way, you should be getting the same slope, okay? My slope should be going down 3, that's negative, and over to the right 2, so negative 3 over 2. My equation, y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 1. There's your first guy. All right, let's talk about the second one. So in the pink equation, I'm beginning at 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, I got to read the graph to the right or go backwards and start at the intersection and count over here to my B, okay? On this problem, it looks like we are rising 2, running 2. Let's see if that would be the same over here. Rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. Yep, my slope is definitely going to be a 1. We write our equation, we don't put 1s for slope, we just say x plus 4. All right, very last part, we need our solution, which is where we intersect. My intersection is at negative 2, that's to the left, and positive 2 means up. Negative 2, comma 2. All right, if you need any more time writing down 3 and 4, go ahead and do that now. We're going to move on to 5 and 6, last ones. All right, problems 5 and 6. First question I notice is that my graphs are horizontal lines and vertical lines. Okay, so for a horizontal line, that means I ended up hitting the y-axis. I am y equals just a 5. That's where I crossed the y-axis, and that's the only number I hit. For the pink one, I'm undefined. I'm vertical. I cut through the x-axis, and I hit it at 3. So my equation is x equals 3. For the last part, my solution, again, right here where they cross, is going to be those numbers. So the x is 3, the y is 5, so my solution is 3, 5. All right, we have one more problem like this. Remember, you can pause anytime you need to, rewind and listen again. Problem number 6, my yellow equation is going to go first. I'm going to begin on the y-axis right here at 2. I'm going to kind of do this one a little bit differently, because they don't have an intersection. My B is going to begin down here at negative 1. Now, I notice that these two lines are parallel. So if they are parallel, I need to remember that the two slopes need to have the same numbers, okay? So if I can't find a perfect point on yellow, I could look at pink. All right, it looks like I see a perfect point here. We could do rise 2, run 2. Which would make a 1. Let's check on the pink. Pink, it looks like I could rise 1, run 1, which would still be a positive 1. All right, so both of those come out to be the same. Our yellow equation is going to be y equals 1x, or just x, plus 1. My pink equation is going to be y equals 1x, which is just x, minus 1. But what about the solution? How am I supposed to name a point if they don't ever cross? Well, the ones that are parallel have no solution. There is nowhere where they share a point. They have no points in common. They have no solutions in common. Okay? All right. Once you have that written down, your assignment is going to be page 153 to 154. There are 9 questions on that set. You have all of those to do. If you have any questions, please come see me. Have a good afternoon.